Okay, hi Madeira, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's nice to have you here.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you today.
So, I'm looking at your bio. You've got a lot of things on here, so I just want to cover them quickly and then we'll get to your book. Is Baja Clavius? Is that the name of the book?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so first off, let's see. Blogger, coach, consultant. Okay, a blogger, I know what that is. What do you do as a coach?
Advise people. They ask me to help in terms of like being better at communicating, better at public speaking in a business setting, how to think for themselves and have critical thinking, that kind of thing. So it's basically an improvement of oneself, but guided by me. And usually the self improvements, they work, but it's always better to have someone guide you. And that's what I do. I'm coaching, consulting, whatever you would like to call it.
Like a life coach?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you been fairly successful at that?
I would say yes. It's the one thing that's very difficult is getting people to find you, to find me online. So I would admit I have marketing shortcomings. I'm not sure if it's something I'm doing wrong or it's just
Oh,
there are some.
believe me, everyone online except for the people that have 40 million views on YouTube have marketing shortcomings because
Yeah.
the audience is so vast and no, it's not your fault. It's
Well,
just
and there's
saturated
so
market.
many websites,
Yeah.
just too many actually. I would say. So yeah, as far as the getting the content, if you will, across, talking with people, interacting with people, yeah. Marketing, not so much. So, any marketing people out there listening today, call me.
Well, there's a lot of them out there. You want to be careful because some of them can be real scam artists too. Uh,
Oh, believe me, I have,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And they all charge, it's odd, they all charge about $1,200. Hey, $1,200 for this. And if you would like carrots on the side, that's another $1,200. So, you know, it's crazy.
Well, there's all kinds of them out there, and I've had a lot of them approach me through LinkedIn, and we're just very skeptical because it depends on what you want. Some of them just will give you, like, if you have a YouTube channel like we do, they'll guarantee you views, and all it is bots, and they're running a computer program that beefs up your view stats and everything. But okay, we're getting off topic. But just
Right,
just
right.
be cautious if you decide to hire a marketing person for your work. Um,
Okay.
okay, digital artist, I know what that is. Photographer, yeah. Podcaster, well, I certainly know what that is. What sort of podcast do you do?
The main, well, I started out in Las Vegas doing cannabis coaching when the cannabis industry, well, the legislature actually changed Nevada law, and I moved to Nevada in 2012. I believe the change was somewhere around, I don't know, 2015. Anyway, I did coaching for people, primarily older people, to be comfortable using cannabis as pain reliever, so cannabis as medicine. And I have 12 episodes of a podcast, Dr. Woody's Cannabis Coaching, if someone wants to Google it. But today I switched, and nowadays, rather, present day 2023, I am doing a taboo podcast, also Las Vegas, that's where I'm from. And this one is more broad in the topics. And we talk about everything from science fiction to um, politics, the culture wars that we're experiencing, and then narrative storytelling, fictional stories in a podcast episode. And that's a lot of fun for the listeners because it's like the old time radio drama. Yeah. So, and it's not new in terms of style or technique, but it's a whole different world today because anybody can be a podcaster, but not everyone is good at telling stories. And I think I am very good at telling stories. So that's why I enjoy doing the storytelling. And it's not for kids, not like library, come to the library and someone will read to your kids. No, 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 no. This is for adults, people who are of legal age. And it's an explicit podcast. So the language, like in real life, can be coarse, can be, words you would not say to your grandmother, for instance. But the name of that one is Taboo Truths and Tales. And if people want to look that up, Taboo Truths and Tales is the podcast name. 40 episodes there. So I've been doing that instead of the cannabis coaching. But
let's move on to your book. You've got a book out called Baja Clavius, Moon Men Deep Inside. And I went on the website and had a look. So this is it's a little bit of a double entendre. It's a graphic novel, but it's also a graphic novel.
It's also graphic in the sense of the adjective.
Right.
Graphic. And then a graphic novel, I guess that's a noun. I don't know. I'm not an English teacher, but
well, we used to call them comic books back in the day, but now people like to call them graphic novels.
Right, because they're not really comical, in the sense of funny. And this Baja Clavius, well, it has humor in it, but it is not, again, not for kids. You should be 18 or older to look at it. And it's graphic in the sense of, yes, violence, nudity, all those fun things that you find in Las Vegas.
Well, how explicit is the draw? These are 3D drawings, right?
Yes, I use a computer app, and I do three-dimensional images, so they look, as they say, photorealistic. But if, for instance, one of the things in the story is hangings, rope around the neck until dead, and I do show scenes of hanging, so kind of, yes, graphic in the sense of, yes, I don't shy away from that. And if someone wants to enjoy the full experience of this book, then I think they should look at the images too. So
okay. Well, in this country, with our sort of leftover puritanical attitude, people seem to be much more uptight about sexual images than violence. Violence seems to get a pass for the most part. You can be as gory as you want, but don't show a bare butt. Otherwise, people will get upset, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So in terms of sexually explicit, where would you put this on a scale of 1 to 10?
10 being the most explicit.
10 being hardcore erotica, yeah, like triple X.
Well, I would not say it is hardcore. I don't know. So let's say 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay. All right. So let's cover the story. We've got just about 3 minutes. Was this a true story? I mean, did this actually happen to you?
Well, I don't know if time travel exists.
Well, I didn't mean that part. I meant the other part.
Okay. Yes. In the book, there's a Navajo, a man who was born in the Navajo Nation in the Southwest, and that really happened to me. I picked up a hitchhiker in the year 1990, and I gave him a ride, and it's a very lonely highway. Gave him a ride. It was about an hour drive to get him where he was going. I happened to be passing where he was going to. And so we talked for an hour, and I got the distinct impression And it could be insanity on my part. I don't know. But I thought that he was a very odd. He seemed to know things that people in the year 1990 wouldn't know about people here on our planet. And he seemed to be, I didn't think he was from another planet, but it became clear to me. I convinced myself, at least, to say that he was from the future. So I guess it's based on a true story. I see when I hear myself talk, I see that this is going to sound, wow, this guy is Looney Tunes, but I think it's a good story. So, suspend disbelief and get into it.
What was it that he said that you thought, oh, wow, this guy is really like he had some real insight, clairvoyance, whatever you want to call it?
Well, it wasn't specific, like the Arizona Diamondbacks will win the World Series. Actually, that did happen. It happened once. He talked about healing of people, and that it was not medicine in the sense of drugs, pharmaceuticals, prescriptions. It was I don't know, it was not touching someone. It was like a mental power. And that seemed to me very otherworldly. Now it is true. People who are native, who are indigenous, Navajo, Dakota, other tribes do believe in that kind of medicine. But this guy was far beyond the norm, I thought, in terms of medicine, indigenous people's medicine.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. So from that encounter, this turned into a science fiction on a planet of gay men?
No, it's on Earth. It's
Oh, it's
set in,
okay.
yeah, which I guess is a planet of gay men. It's set, it's set on Earth. The time travel base is on the moon, and it is under the crater Clavius, and that explains the title. Baja is a Spanish word that means beneath or under, lower. So it's under the crater, inside, underground, the crater Clavius, a moon base. But the guys are from Earth. They're born on Earth. Nobody lives on the moon in our day. I think in the future people will. So I set this story on the moon. So the guys live there. They are gay men, and then they travel in the time machines to the past, and they change the past. And that's why there is time travel in this story, to change the past. They are correcting mistakes that happened in life in our timelines, such as the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. That's one of the actual real world events I use in this storytelling. And so I won't give it away, but time travelers go back to Oklahoma City to change the timeline from what happened as we know it.
We are out of time, unfortunately. We're going to have to kind of wrap this up. Thank you for coming on. Is the book out now?
Yes, if you go to the website Baja Clavius, I'm sorry, let's start this again. It's moonmendeepinside.com. Actually, BajaClavius.com works too, but moonmendeepinside.com is where you should go. That's the website.
Last question, since you gave out the website. That's usually my last question, but are you getting any good reviews on this, or what are the reviews like?
Well, there's been several, they're on the website, several reviews. People often are surprised at how it's a story and not just, time travel. Look at that hardware. Wow. It's a story. It's a real character, realistic characters. And that's the most common thread, that people like the characters and how they interact.
Okay, so you wrote the story and did the animation?
It's not animation, but yes, the
Or
three-dimensional
three-dimensional
imaging.
imagings? Yeah,
Right,
okay.
right.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We do have to wind this down. Best of luck with the book and all your other projects. Hope they do well.
And I want to thank you for having me on today. Very much enjoyed talking to you.